Another person I might as well while I'm here thank you before we get us out. I do want to thank Chloe for being here, for being our photographer for the night.
Well done, Chloe. Was it Holmes Photography, right, on Facebook?
Chloe Holmes Photography.
Nice. Check it out.
Or you could go to Holmes Photography. It's not probably.
Each second we wait, the less likes it's going to get.
It's good. It's good. It's good to go.
Okay.
Good to go?
That's good, bro.
I just
Stop making fun of you then.
Nice.
Good to go?
Well done.
Yeah, you could.
Cool.
Alright,
Well,
everyone.
as we've already asked, I'm Zeke Morgan-Hind. I'll be hosting this Q&A. Hi. Yeah, cool. Thank you for everyone attending. Obviously, it was pretty sweet to be a 21-year-old and getting your first premiere. That's pretty cool. No, it obviously means a lot for Jake that we're all here, and we all want to be here. Let's be honest. So it's round of applause for that film. Special thanks to Backlot for obviously hosting the event. This is the first time I've been here. I'm sure it's probably the first time a lot of us have been here. It's pretty sweet seats compared to your standard Hoyt cinema, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to introduce our Q&A panel. Obviously, director and pretty much everything else which is connected. Jake De Agrela. I'm sorry, Monique, if I get your surname wrong here.
Okay.
Monique Brocklehurst for Alex. Zachary Cave for Chris. And I've got these two mixed up on my Word document, but Rebecca Collin for Brooke. And James Mooney for Vince. So the first question I've got here is for you, Jake. And of course, feel free to chime in if you guys, because I know a lot of you were in the earlier production too. Jake, can you explain to the audience the origins of Disconnected?
Alright, so as I alluded at the start, but I'll go into a bit more detail now. It was about 30 months ago. I just started Clicker Productions basically as a way to kind of pull all the creative people in my life to kind of create these ideas, and whether it be film or music videos or photography or anything like that. And I had very lack of content at the start of that. So one of the things I was working on this TV show, which is still in development, called Evasion, and I needed something to quote unquote kind of fill the gap because I knew it was going to go on and make. So originally it started. I realized, hey, my Samsung that I just bought, which I was actually going to show everyone, this is the phone that you use in the film, but I've lost it. I don't know where it is. It's okay.
Got disconnected from you.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew you could shoot 4K on it. It's not proper 4K or anything like that, but I was like, that's a cool thing. Let's see if I can shoot a 5-minute film on my phone. And this was around the time that I met you for auditions on Evasion, and you didn't get a role on that, but I knew I wanted to work with you either way. So I said, hey, I'm working on this other thing, would you like to be part of that? And you said yes, as you might have guessed based on that. And we kind of sat down, I remember this, we sat down at it was like a cafe or something, and they kicked us out.
I was at the principal because I was 17.
That's right. You're a month away from me.
I wasn't drinking.
We weren't even drinking. We just sat down for a coffee and they kicked us out. It was okay. But it was there where I kind of started to pitch you some of the ideas and a lot of the plot points that you now see in the film where it's a little longer than 5 minutes, you might have noticed.
Yeah, just a smidge.
And I remember asking, I'm like, do you want to go all the way? Do you want to do all of this? All those ideas? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, do you regret it now?
No.
Cool, okay.
Surprisingly not.
Surprisingly not. No, I think it came out very nicely. I think
so.
you all shine in it, so that's good.
I think everyone did amazing in it.
Oh.
Yeah, cool. Tap on the back.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was like a year. That was this is August 2016 when this idea came, and it was January 2017 when we talked about it. So it was a while ago now, and it was all of 2017. We just had issue after issue after issue after issue trying to jumpstart the production. People kept leaving or issues kept coming up. People weren't available for certain days. And it was like this for literally a year until January last year we finally started shooting with some of the amazing people here. And I think the rest is history for the most part. We shot the thing, and there it is.
Cool. So I'm going to go to the actors now because you already talked too much. Starting with James, and we'll work our way slowly up back to me. Can you guys all talk about what drew you to the script and what brought you to Disconnected?
Jake said he'd pay me, so.
Sorry, Collin. Hey.
Some pay dispute stuff. It's not on camera, right?
Acting was always something I did when I was a kid, so it was always like just pretty much my first ever like hobby, even job. So I always loved going back to it. So sick.
We should put that one on. It was an ABC.
Yeah.
We should put that on here.
Why?
What do you mean why? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I loved it. So I always like going back on screen as much as I do behind the cameras. It's really fun.
And you got to keep the sunnies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, that was his payment, right?
I didn't specify that at the start.
So, like Jake said, there were a few issues for the first while trying to get the whole thing up and running. So I hadn't actually seen the script at all when I agreed to come on as a favour. I'd already worked with Jake before, so I knew I could trust him to make something pretty good. I was an extra on Evasion, the TV show that is still in production. No, so he messaged me saying that they had a few people drop out of this role because of scheduling conflicts and things, and he'd already worked with me. He's like, I trust you and I know you're reliable, please just fill this role. So I immediately agreed because he's just like a lot of fun to work with. I had a really good time on this shoot. Yeah, that's kind of what brought me in. It wasn't even the script. I trusted Jake that his vision would be something that I'd want to be a part of.
You got a bit of rep there, mate.
And then you read the script.
Like, what have I gotten myself into? No, it was good.
I like Zach's story though.
Okay, so the way I got brought into this whole production was Michaela Innes, one of the other actors in this film. I knew her through a production of Annie we were doing a little while ago. And pretty much just out of the blue one day, I was sitting in a uni class and I just got a message from her saying, hey, there's auditions going for this part in this film. It's in 3 days' time. Can you memorize 20 pages of script by then? Sure, I'll give it a whirl. So I got the script. I gave it a read. It was eerily similar to my early high school years, so I thought...
It's funny you say that. All I'm thinking in my head is like, Jesus Christ, this is like the most method acting. It
just seemed like almost too in line. So I grabbed the script, I got through the lines, gave it a read, came in, saw Jake, Michaela was there, and one thing led to another, bang, now I'm on this thing. So that's pretty much all she wrote.
We talked a bit about this, but
Yeah, so as Jake said before, we met back in 2017 when I... 17?
that was end of 2016.
End of 2016, wow. When I auditioned to be in the TV show Evasion, which I did not get the part.
I mean, hey, it's not
There should be a bit of separate.
But in saying that, when he told me that I didn't get the part, he also said that he had another film in the makings that he'd keep me posted, which he stuck to his word, and he did. He then pitched me the idea, showed me the script, and asked if I wanted to be on board. I read the script and I thought, why not, let's give it a go, see what comes of it. So we then met and we went over the script a bit more, and it was really cool because I was able to give Jake some of my ideas with what to do with the script, which was really nice of him to let me have my input, and he did make some slight changes that came from me. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it all started, and then went through the road and got these ones along the way.
Cool. Back to you, Jake. Obviously, it was really news.
I was going to say, it's not
I have to ask you, because this took a long time
Yeah.
to get to where we are right now, and you were pretty much, with obviously help along the way, you were a one-man band for a lot of it. So what were some of the biggest challenges you had to face throughout the entire production? And you have to keep this relatively short.
I'll keep this very short. Like we said during pre-production, we had a lot of issues. just a lot of, like you said, I was a one-man band in a lot of ways, which is hard. It's hard to pitch a film when it's just you, unless you're really dedicated to the idea, in the sense that you can really convince people, hey, I have this idea and I think I know what to do with it, in that sense. And for a lot of people, it's more the name. Well, who's producing it? Who's shooting it? Who's directing? And obviously, I didn't really have any of that because the answer was me every time. And a lot of people are like, oh, okay, sure. So that was tricky from the get-go, and I think in terms of that, because there was a lot of doubt with certain people who didn't end up making it to the end of production. Sorry, I'm trying not to say names here. No, it's fine. But there were quite a few people who didn't really see the forest past the tree, in the sense that, I hope I said that right, in the sense that all they kind of saw was the amateur side of the production and not necessarily what it could be. It could be screened at backlot on a giant screen and look gorgeous to boot. It could be this really interesting story that has a lot to say about relationships and technology and how those have kind of changed each other in our kind of, not only the zeitgeist, but even just our social culture. And I think that was the main challenge. A lot of people didn't want to see it like that. They saw it as, oh, this guy's just filming something with his camera. And once we got to shooting, and to credit where credit is, not everyone was like that. I want to give a shout out to Jake Wookie, who was actually our original Chris, and unfortunately he couldn't end up in the movie because of scheduling reasons. So definitely not every single person involved was, that kind. But again, it goes back to people like Zach coming on board and just helping out the best he can, in the sense of, you need a location, let me help you out. You need, you need another actor, let me help you out there. And the fact that everyone here did that to their extent is why the film is finished, why it's here today. So I think that's how we kind of overcame that.
Cool. I have one for Zach and Monique. As the leads in this, did a great job, by the way. I would like to throw to both of you, for both your characters of Alice and Chris. What did you guys think you guys could bring to this role, and where do you think, after following production being all wrapped, where do you think that left you guys in sort of a psychological state?
That's an interesting one, because the two characters, obviously, they're very, very different. You got the fully extroverted, tech-savvy Alice, and then the introverted, just doesn't want anything to do with it, Chris. It makes you draw a lot of parallels with how tech and relationships and all that sort of stuff that Jake was saying comes along today, and how that's all working out in modern society. So one thing I definitely took from it was that the way that all these subtle little things Fetch, or I don't know, Tinder or Grindr or whatever you're into now, just all these little things just really impact on the way relationships work these days. So it's just, it's interesting to draw comparisons like that.
What were you drawn to in your character? I know how you got the role, but what did you like as production proceeded?
About Alice in particular, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked how quirky and fun Alice was, but I liked the journey that she went on, starting at the start, being all self-absorbed, all about her social medias, wanting to get her name out there, all about how many likes she can get. She kind of went through a journey because of Chris, and it made her realise that life's not all about social media. It's not all about posting the best photos and getting the most likes and having the most interactions. It's all about the personal connection with someone. And I liked the journey that she got to go through, and in the end she realises that it's about the personal connection, not the connection through the phone, because at the end of the day, through a phone it's not actually real.
Throw it to the audience for a bit. See if they've got anything to say.
Yeah, might as well spice it up a bit. Does anyone have any questions?
There we go. We got a straight one.
I was wondering if there's any particular films or TV shows that you were inspired by in the creation.
That's a good question. It's interesting because I don't know if there's any particular thing I can point to directly. I mean, I could strike some comparisons with certain Black Mirror episodes, but I didn't watch Black Mirror before writing this, so it's kind of a cheat. Oh, okay, cool. I think, I mean, it's funny because like I mentioned Breaking Bad earlier, and you're probably thinking, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think what I take from that specifically is the style of filmmaking that they did, and it might not be very obvious watching this and then watching something like Breaking Bad where those correlate to me, because they're completely different stories, completely different plots, completely different characters. But I think from a filmic standpoint, in terms of some of the methods they use to tell stories, in terms of how do they cut certain scenes, or how do they open a scene, for example, how does subtext in dialogue relate when it comes to telling someone what you want versus telling them something that they don't necessarily mean, but with the subtext added to it, it does mean. And just little things like that, I honestly would say Breaking Bad was that weird comparison. Yeah.
Yeah, has anyone else got any? Want to chat? Oh.
I have two, sorry.
Oh.
I know.
You only get one.
Number one, how many hours of footage were there in total?
Ooh, I know the answer for this. I think not including the VO, a little over 10 hours of footage, and including the VO, closer to 14 hours.
Ooh.
So condense that down to 47. You do that. What's the second
My
question?
second question is, what are you going to do with the film now?
That's a good
Your
question.
plan?
I was gonna leave this to the end.
Oh, sorry.
This is
So take it back.
taking my questions here. I'm running out.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
No, I will say, for me, especially these last the month or so, because it was the 1st of February that we said, here's the date, here's we're doing it, and then internally I was like, crap, I gotta get it done by then. And the film's not done until Wednesday. And then the entire time from Wednesday to right now, I was rendering the video. And it was about...
How many hours?
It was about 30 hours that my computer was rendering that thing, and that's why it looks so good on that giant screen. Is that
electricity bill is going to be
so my main goal was to get to this night, and I think so far it's been a massive success. So thank you for that. We definitely have DVD plans, so we're going to do that. But in terms of other screenings, because I have other people who absolutely want me to do more screenings, we're going to have to kind of figure that out at the moment, and where to go from there, how to treat those. Probably get cheaper from now on. But yeah, definitely lots of plans in that regard to get the film out there for everyone.
Cool. Ooh.
Is Fetch a real app?
No. So Fetch, I actually like this because yeah, so it was that thing of bouncing. Yeah, exactly. It was that thing of bouncing ideas and with some friends like ages ago of thinking of a name for an app. In the sense that I didn't want to use Tinder because first off, that's a whole legal thing I got to get into. But also, I wanted it to be kind of its own thing. So I like the name Fetch because it's just so misogynistic in its own way.
This is all
Jake's a misogynist. Yeah.
But I like the name because
I'm gonna release a ticket.
obviously, yeah, exactly. Well, like I didn't want it to be all sunshine and rainbows. I wanted it to kind of have that underlining, like there are issues with this type of social media, with this type of dating per se. So I wanted to kind of underline that every now and then. So that's how we landed on Fetch, and then the logo. I got sneaky with the logo. I paid a monthly subscription on a website where you can design your own logos, and then after the logo was designed, I jumped out of it.
Oh, you criminal!
We're getting a lot of scandalous stuff right now.
You just did a 30-day trial, didn't you, Jake?
Yeah, let me do it.
It's gonna be a great documentary.
Yeah,
Like scandalous
it's gonna be
stuff.
great.
We got
Back.
oh.
Translation from page to screen is always interesting.
Okay.
Is there, oh, you know that.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm on.
Okay, question mark.
Was there any scene on page that you envisioned in a different way that turned out,
Okay.
that it turned out on screen?
I think.
That add or subtract from the work?
Alright, no, I love that question. I'll start with the scene that worked the best, surprisingly, because there's a lot of scenes. When you write them in paper, there's a lot of voiceover. There's a lot of scenes in a bedroom, cut to bedroom, cut to bedroom, cut to bedroom. So I was pretty worried about that. I was like, is that going to work out? My favorite scene that worked in that sense was the one when you called Chris, and I think that actually came out really nice on screen. Another one, I wish Stephen was here. I really wish he was here. So I hadn't met Stephen until the day we started shooting, and I think it was him and Mooney. You both did this one day of shooting. So all of the stuff in the pool, all the pool scenes and the party scenes were all done in one day.
That's a lot of
which is
swimming.
insane. That is absolutely
Keep in mind that this was like
in winter.
This was like mid-July when they were doing all these swimming scenes. Yeah.
So cold.
I'm sorry,
That's
it's like
you.
shivering.
Actually, but we had to sweat it out in a car with no aircon.
That was a lot. I'm surprised you couldn't see just how like
It was
our
gross.
faces were. My goodness.
I got hypothermia from that.
It's a swimming though movie. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like it's like if I punish one part of the cast, I just punish all of them. That's why you schedule it. Worst time zones. The scene that, going back to your question, the scene that I think went the best, that was different from the page in a sense, was Stephen. I had just met Stephen right before we started shooting. I already knew James ahead of time, so that wasn't kind of a like first meeting sort of thing. But I was like, all right, let's see what Stephen's got. And I remember he kind of came to set and he's like, all right, time to check my lines. And then he looked at the scene where he's like, come on, Chris, like just do this with the app, just do this. He looked at that scene, he's like, oh shit. So it was fun because he basically, even though it translates pretty well from page to script, page to screen, sorry. It translates pretty well, but almost a lick of that dialogue was not what was on the page.
He liked to spice it up, like in his own way a little bit.
And
But I liked it up,
speaking of spicing up, the famous line, bingo bongo, which was not in the script. And
it just came out of nowhere. I remember when we were actually shooting that, I think you probably noticed, like, when you hear that, it's just the audio clip, because Jake was laughing so hard that the camera was just too shaky to actually keep the video of that shot.
Shake, and I tried stabilizing it for weeks in editing, couldn't do it. So there's certain shots, and I had to cut away to you. Originally the take was longer on Stephen, and I was like, I keep shaking and laughing, I need to cut to Zach on this stuff. But I think that was the best one, because it still says everything that he's meant to say in the script, in terms of the messaging, in terms of this beat, but it's like completely different because he spiced it up. So and I think it really worked, because it almost has that feeling of he's kind of making up these lessons on the spot, which I kind of like that feeling.
Yeah. You also collectively ruined our lives by saying bingo and bongo.
Yeah.
3 months straight after that.
Thank you, Jake.
We started saying bingo bongo a lot. Just everywhere.
What was it originally? Hey presto.
So, no, he said that as well. He said all of them.
Yeah, he said all of them. I think you two would have dares, and he would say something on take, and then you would start laughing in the background.
Check the latest like Sesame Street episode.
Alright, cool. I'm going to forward to you, Zeke, now.
Well,
Switching it up. Do you want to go back into your list, or do we want to do the door prize?
I asked the question.
Tell me what time it is actually.
It's 9:35.
Oh, okay.
So door prize.
Door prize.
Door prize.
We've got one more.
Oh, Sandy.
I want to ask a question
Most
to
important.
Zach. My favourite part of the whole movie, the kissing scene at the end. How did you, like, it came across so natural? Honestly, when I was watching it and you were about to kiss, because I haven't seen this before, I thought, oh my god, it's going to be awkward, you know, the beginning when you first go to hug
The
her.
entire date scene, yeah.
Yeah. I was cringing, I
That's
thought, oh my god, it's going to be so awkward, and it turned out beautiful. Like, did that bother you? Like, you knew the kiss scene was coming
Did it
up?
bother you that it was beautiful?
Well, it's...
Can you sleep at night?
Was it bad that you enjoyed it?
I'm not sure really, because I think we actually filmed the kiss scene before, unless I'm remembering things wrong. I'm pretty sure we filmed.
I think you're talking about...
I think we filmed the kiss before we actually did the date scene.
Oh, no, you're right, you did before, yeah.
So,
did you two know each other before this film?
No.
I think,
Okay.
no, not really. Did we?
We met in
Yeah.
the studio.
We met in the studio.
Okay.
When we were doing all the VO stuff.
Yeah.
That's when we first met, and then eventually we got to that point. I think if we had done the date scene, if we had shot the date scene before the kissing scene, then it would have been awkward as all hell. But I think just because of the way it got sequenced and just the shooting days, it really removed a lot of that, and then it turned out like that.
It did, it turned out beautiful.
That's what we needed.
It was very natural,
And a fun fact, I really hope a lot of people didn't pick this up. You two didn't actually kiss.
What?
Jake, the movie Magic! You just ruined it! Oh no, the movie Magic's dead!
Just killed an entire theatre.
Yeah.
You want to explain that? How that
Magic. Do we want to explain that? Or?
Well, you just shattered everyone's world.
Demonstration, please. If it's match
We can explain it if you want.
Yeah. So basically, we cast Zach in the movie, and he was like, "I'm kidding."
I'll tell you what happened.
That is not what happened.
I think basically it comes down to it was tricky with other like personal relationship issues, and then it just came up as let's not do anything stupid, let's not risk anything, and with a little bit of
magic,
a little bit of post-production sort of things. It just worked in the end. So
I wanted to say these two. It's not post-production at all. It looks very convincing.
I kissed my thumbs.
Yes. So you two came up with a really clever tactic. I was happy. Awesome. All right, I think we should do the raffle prize. We're going to jump in that. All right, cool. I'll grab.
I wasn't trained for this.
I don't know about you, but I just walked out here.
This is all on you.
Oh, the JD iPad. Don't look.
Yes.
All right.
Just get mine.
Looking for mine.
What have you
Wait, are
got?
you pulling the names out? You can't pull
Surely Jake can pull it.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, let's just get cast the two leads.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So we're going to pull out two names here, and we're going to get them to come up to the front.
Jake, if you get us.
What?
Wait, did you buy a ticket, Jake? Bag of Jake.
So you grab one of this, and
Not yet.
Oh, no, I'll just get the
Oh, yes.
also grab one of these two posters here. Fully signed.
Wow.
So I believe we got me. We got all four of you on here. We got Jack. Where are you, Jack? There you are. We got you did graphics on the film. We got Nick Doig, who couldn't be here tonight, but he did all the original music in the film. Andy and Keish, our primary crew. There you are. There you are.
Should have done a little cradle slip.
Yeah, a little crazy, exactly. Steven's signature's on here too, and are we missing any?
Speak up.
Speak up. All right, let's jump in.
Alright, first one. What are they getting?
They
They
get
can just
just
ask. I just said it.
Oh, these bad boys.
Melissa Cave.
Do you want to come down here and grab it? Cool.
I'll draw the other name while we're
Oh, yeah.
down. All right, here you go.
It'll be one of your favorites.
If it is, that doesn't matter. All right, here we go. And we have
The other one.
Darcy Jensen.
Alright, beautiful. Okay, which one's which?
Cool stuff. The one with the most liquor?
There you go. Yeah. Zach's face. There you go.
I'm so excited.
Yes, there you go. Alright. I'll say we have
Yeah, one or two more.
Yep.
Okay. Audience, got any more? You want me to whip it back to me? I've got this.
Can I ask one?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Are we getting a blooper reel?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so like, have any of you guys got funny stories from set?
I think the highlight for me was during the dates. This is actually great to kind of ease some of the tension when we were filming the date scene. Because it definitely reached this one point where it was just so awkward we couldn't even film it. We were just laughing that much. It was anyway. What happens is Zeke, our lovely slate man over here. We're all prepped. We got the sound. We got the lights. Everything's ready to go. Jake's ready on the camera. We're in character. Yeah. Scene. Mark. He drops the slate on the floor.
Breaks in
It
half.
broke.
It breaks in half and drops it on the floor. Everyone just loses it laughing.
That's my
Yeah.
job, Zeke.
I actually had multiple jobs that night. I was a waiter. I like talked.
Yeah, you're a motor fighter.
You styled the bread that looked like I hadn't eaten any yet.
That was an interesting.
that was, yeah.
So a lot of bread that got half eaten and chucked because next take.
Was it good bread?
It was very good bread.
Let's see.
Yeah, literally
Oh.
bread that scene.
The gourmet bread restaurant.
I want to go there.
I want to hear from the far end. Any fun memories or stories?
I was too cold. No, no, I was working with Steven, man. I couldn't, like, when we were doing the scene, when we were, like, in the sun and Zach was in the pool,
Yeah.
like, every time Steven spoke, I just couldn't keep a straight face. It was
James,
Yeah.
with, when you were coming out of the pool, the part where you're just about to get out and he throws you back in,
Yeah.
was that planned? Was
Oh,
that
no.
part of it? I bet you just
I thought it was,
he grabbed your
but
hand.
I didn't think he was going to do it that hard. Actually, I thought I was going to get out first, and he was going to push me in, but he just pushed me in. So,
Any fun stories?
Monique already brought up driving around in a car with no aircon in the middle of January,
that's pretty funny.
which was not as much fun as you'd think it would be. So, you know, we'd like be between takes, just quickly turn the aircon up as high as we could, and then, you know, we'd like, you know, call rolling and like turn it off again and we'd all start sweating once again. But we were actually just going up and down this cul-de-sac over and over and over. Because you saw how much time it was in the film. But that was like hours of just driving up and down a cul-de-sac with no aircon. But possibly one thing that made it all worth it was someone walked their dog
Yes,
past,
I was gonna say
and
that.
their dog was wearing pants. Made the whole thing worth it.
But how did it wear the pants? Were they like that or were they like
I don't remember. I was probably suffering heat stroke.
That dog was probably suffering heat.
Yeah.
Was this a Oh no, you're right. This was the same day. It was through the window. I remember that.
Yeah.
I got like this. I got this much footage of the dog.
Did you?
So
Amazing.
Was it real?
Wow.
freeze frame.
Yeah.
In the film.
Did it work with the cinematography? Yeah, cool. I think we do have to wrap up soon.
Cool, I only have one more question.
Cool.
And I'll probably, I'll start with James and work our way slowly up because you've all got probably projects coming up or things coming up with, No? Okay. Well, if any of you guys have any projects coming up you want to like talk about in the future, any plans for your future with acting or director-wise?
Yeah, I'll just keep with film at the moment, but yeah, I'm doing music at the moment as well, which is a lot of fun. I did some of the tracks on here that Jake asked me for. Yeah, so I was always film all the way until recently. I love the music, so see how that takes as well. So who knows? Just going. Yeah.
So I'm typically a theatre actor, not film. I've been in a couple of films. So a short film I was in called Ivory is about to do the festival circuit. So if you can catch that somehow, look for me. I'm waitressing in the background and I have a few lines. But I just finished a Fringe show, which was a pretty long run and hard slog. Very much, like I would recommend getting involved in Fringe if you can. It's honestly like Christmas for actors. It's brilliant and you get some pretty sweet deals when you've got a Fringe pass. Guzman Gomez gives you a discount, so hard plug there. But yeah, no, just came out 3 months of working on that, and it was a very long run. So I'm on a bit of a break at the moment, just trying to get some time to, unwind. So nothing specific planned at the moment, but I'm definitely going to be keeping it acting, and maybe you'll see me in something else at Backlot one day.
Similar to Rebecca, I've been much more of a musical theatre sort of actor, well, pretty much right up until now. So yeah, no upcoming projects that I can really think of because I did just finish a massive run of Annie. There was a premiere of Little Miss Sunshine that just passed. That was good fun. What else? The Little Mermaid, that was pretty good fun as well. But yeah, there's a couple I have in mind I might be looking into later on this year. So I know there's a production of Grease going on somewhere in Thornley and Les Mis in Marlou. So definitely look into those. May or may not make an appearance. See what happens. So yeah, that's all I got.
Are you, Monique? Got anything going? Or you just chilling right now?
I'm just chilling right now, to be honest.
TBH.
Different to those two, I didn't really do theatre. I did like musicals at school, but that was about it. I was more on the screen side of things. But yeah, just taking a bit of a break from it at the moment, doing some other things and focusing on separate career pathways. But we'll see what happens.
Man, everyone's on breaks. Did I do this to them?
My career's now it's far from now on.
Crazy.
And then you, Jack.
Me, well, I'm still going to be working with this, maybe hopefully doing more screenings of some kind and putting DVDs and pushing it like that. I'm working on a short film called Estranged at the moment, which we just cast, and actually, where is Ash right now? There you are. Do you want to plug your gallery actually? Very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm Ash. I'm an artist and volunteer at the Art Gallery, which is a gallery tea house in Armadale on Jewel Street. So we're actually trying to rebrand Armadale and also bring the arts and culture into that space where a lot of the rest of Perth is quite artsy, and we sort of want to, because people that live in Armadale, we want to have some fun, so we're trying to make like that gallery and all sorts like the hub of arts in that area. So we're sort of inviting Clicker Productions to try and do some productions maybe.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we're going to shoot Estranged. It's a 10-minute film. That's a little shorter than this one, but we're really excited about it, and we're hoping to shoot the whole thing in the gallery. So very, very exciting. And I'm working on a lot of other stuff that I think is a bit early. No question.
Oh, cool.
Will the bloopers and this in general be in like the special features of the film?
Well, this right now we're recording. I'm hoping to put this on the DVD in some capacity, unless someone's got. We'll go.
There's some negotiations happening right now.
Yeah, they're planning their paycheck already. But yes, the bloopers and all of that. We've got a ton of stuff we want to put in the DVD because we want to. If you're going to purchase a DVD, we want to kind of like what we did tonight. Like let's do Q&A panel. Let's put Cradle at the front. Kind of figuring out all these other ways to kind of get more bang for your buck. We're going to do the same with the DVD in terms of trying to add a lot of content into that. We've got a question up there.
Where can we find Clicker Productions on social media?
Thanks for
I love that question.
Clicker Productions, we do have a website, www.clickerproduction.com, singular production. I'm still going to have to kill the person who stole the name from me. But you can find us on like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that jazz. And yeah, for other stuff that we're working on and more events like this. Yes.
What else have you made?
What else have I made? No, I don't know. Well, the last few years, I've worked with this man on a lot of stuff the last couple of years. As you saw Cradle at the start, we, along with Jack there, we co-directed that, the three of us, as well as shifting other roles. We co-directed Faces in the Crowd. He's got some nice reception on that one.
Yeah.
And,
It's all on Clicker Productions.
and
so.
Zeke Productions.
Yeah, that one too.
We just love each other so much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There's already stuff on Instagram of that.
Jesus, yeah, there's some footage of us on Instagram. It's got a bit leaked. That's okay. I'm proud of it. All right, yeah, I think we're definitely pushing our time limit on that. So yeah, I'm gonna thank everyone for coming tonight, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the film.
Woo!
We can all go, right?
We can all go.
Yeah.
Stretch the legs.